I have a video of Michael Irvin that was shit. Fuck. Damn. Ow. That hurt. Damn. Fucking wind. Ow.
Well, good Tuesday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here. Of course, Joe Boo is down at the Red Brick House, but we do have Joe Bear sitting guard here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up those football gods. I hope everybody's going to have a great Taco Tuesday. I hope all of your taco dreams come true. Today we got CeeDee Lamb has day number 2 of his youth camp, as well as Dak Prescott. And we heard Dak Prescott talking yesterday about his contract. He don't seem to be sweating at all. And with the temperatures we've been having across the country, he doesn't seem to be worried, sweating it, or any problems in the world. Not the walking boot, not his ankles, not if he's going to get paid by the Dallas Cowboys. He basically put it, when training camp starts, I am focused on everything I can to do what I need to help my team. And that's where we are. CeeDee Lamb, we don't know. Not so much. CeeDee Lamb, not talking about his contract situation. Don't know when or if he's going to get a new deal. We saw Zach Martin last year, of course, holding out or holding in and basically waiting until he got a contract. We don't know if CeeDee Lamb's going to go the same route or not. What's going to happen? I don't have any clue. I honestly don't have any clue to what that's going to look like, but we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, while we have this last 2 weeks, because 2 weeks, my friends, the 24th, the Dallas Cowboys report to Oxnard training camp. 2 weeks from today. You understand that, right? This offseason that has been the worst. I mean, we always have an offseason where we're disappointed, where we're not doing anything. But it just seems like for a team that won 12 games, you would have thought that we were the worst team in the NFL. The way we have been trashed, we've been told our quarterback stinks, our edge rusher's overrated, our wide receiver, he's really a slot receiver. He's not really a number one, even though you have one of the most success rates in the NFL with Micah Parsons, even though you had more catches than anybody than CeeDee Lamb, even though you had the most touchdown passes and fewest interceptions in the NFL by your quarterback. Those guys suck. That's all we've heard. And everything we've heard all off season has been negative, from, maybe we were tired to throwing each other under the bus. Maybe we shouldn't be doing podcasts and everything else. And of course, the ineptitude of the Joneses. They're not bringing people in. They're just bringing back Zeke Elliott and Eric Kendricks and UFL. That's it. We need to get this thing on. And I am so ready to get it on right now that we need this bad, because it's hard. This is the hardest it's been being a Dallas Cowboys YouTuber, because normally, we've got things to talk about. We got a new piece that's coming in here, and we're going to sell it to you guys why this is going to be a game changer for the Dallas Cowboys. We've hardly had that. It's been like a desert. And I'm ready to get something to talk about. In the meantime, here's what's been kind of cool. Shows like Undisputed have plummeted. The fact that Undisputed, day one of the draft, literally had less than, I think, 100,000 people watching the show. You think about the cost of the talent, the studio, the production, and everything else. 100,000 or less views is pretty bad. Now, First Take is kind of taking that up. First Take's getting 500,000 or so. But what you're seeing good old YouTube and the podcasts are beginning to take over. Pivot, okay? Pivot has become one of the great ones, which of course is backed by fanatics. See, I don't know if you understand this, that you've got the corporate ones that are being built that you don't realize that are being built. Fanatics, when you go get your autographs, of course, those autographs, Trevor Lawrence, $275, because they're affiliated with Fanatics. They are building a juggernaut. I'm not mad at them, just pointing out that we're going from the ESPNs to the Fanatics is what's being built. Be that as it may, Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St Brown, apparently with the Detroit Lions, are still butthurt about losing to the Dallas Cowboys, even though they turned their franchise around, that they seem to be one of these young and up and coming teams, that they've got Super Bowl aspirations. They're still pissed off about the Cowboys and the 2-point conversion. And Amon-Ra St Brown seems to have a beef with Jordan Lewis. With Jordan Lewis. And so he was on the Pivot podcast, and listen to what he had to say about the Cowboys and Jordan Lewis.
And then things out of the facility that they wanted to record, but they did a great job.
Have you seen the final version?
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't watched every episode, but I watched a few of them.
What was the most memorable moment throughout the entire taping?
My favorite part is our first playoff game versus the Rams. The energy, craziest energy I've ever been a part of as a player. The fans. I mean, I'm out watching
he's talking about the
pregame
playoffs.
warm-ups. Damn near the whole stadium's already packed out, like for the first.
I played this because this is kind of interesting, because he's going through and he's talking about the playoffs against the Rams and everything else and all the greatness and everything else. You think that you would stick with that kind of a narrative, that, it's a great feeling. But then we get on to Jordan Lewis.
First playoff game, yelling, chanting. Stafford was coming back. It was just the perfect story for everything. Our first home playoff game. And then Jared comes out and the whole Jared Goff chant start, which still go on to this day. But the energy was the highest I've ever been around.
I can only imagine what you got. Eminem, Megatron, a lot of celebrity actors, actresses back in the stadium. Netflix went quarterback receiver, so they have to eventually do DBs. Who's your least favorite DB to face?
Skill-wise? Like who's good?
I know you love challenges. That's just your mindset. But there has to be someone that might be nitpicky or...
I'll be honest.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how anybody ever plays against Jair.
Well, yeah, you got to see him twice,
What is
too.
it? That dude you got to dap up after the game.
He didn't play last year, so the first time we played him, I think something happened, he was hurt.
Yeah.
Second time we played him, he didn't play either, so I didn't play him last year, but yeah, he's a yapper. One guy that comes to mind is Jordan Lewis, I think is his name, from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I don't talk much unless someone's gonna talk to me. I block hard, I do all that. But he was talking crazy, like some shit I've never heard before. I'm like, yo, hold on, like, I'm gonna have to go hard on this. Like, he was talking crazy out of pocket. Even J-Mo heard it too. He was coming in. At that point, it's like, I don't know what he's saying. I'm trying to make plays, win the game. I'm not worried about him. But once he starts talking like that, it's like, if I do get a chance to kill him, I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah. Speaking of that game, the 2-point conversions. What is your thought process as, you guys get it, the flag is thrown, and y'all did everything right. From the setup, from the beginning of the game, every time y'all brought an extra lineman into the game. It was the perfect way to handle it. Panay walks over, everything happens the right way, and then all of a sudden, the flag is thrown. What is your first thought in that moment?
Yeah, so we worked that play like 3 weeks prior, have it up kind of every week. The whole procedure, like you said, was thought out perfectly. And so we get to it, and I'm like, no way he's about to call us to win the game. He calls the play. I'm not even seeing them report because I'm thinking they're doing it right, whatever. We get in the huddle, he calls it. I'm out wide to the right, and we're like in an unbalanced formation because tight end has to be eligible. So I'm on the ball. It looks weird, but I'm on the ball. Tackle's on the ball, everything. We snap it. I know it's not coming to me because this play's for the tackle. I look back after I run my route. I'm like, this dude is covered. Like, damn, this game's over. He throws it. I'm like, no way this tackle catches it. Around all these dudes. He catches it. I'm like, oh, shit. I run over. I celebrate. We're all happy. We look back. There's a flag. I'm like, damn, what the fuck just happened? So they say, whatever, tackle ineligible, whatever it is. I'm like, damn, we could have just stole the game in Dallas. It was huge for us because at that point we were trying to get the 1 seed or 2 seed, whatever it was. I think it was 2 seed. Now we're trying to steal the game. So calls it back. We run another. We're going for the 2-point conversion again. At this point, I'm like, okay, I kind of agree with it. Let's do it. He snapped. We're out. Calls the play. Now we're kind of like at the 6-yard line because it's a 5-yard penalty, whatever. And the dude on the Cowboys jumped. So before the play snapped, I already know we're going to get another opportunity at this again because I saw the buddy jump. So we run the play. He throws a pick. They're all excited, the fans. I'm like, it's coming back. Don't worry. I see the flag. Now it's the 3rd time. This time, I'm going to be honest, I'm like, just kick the field goal. Like,
I was waiting for the
no way. I'm like, there's no way we're going for it. This is the 3rd time we didn't get it. Like, let's just kick it and let's go to overtime. But looking back on it, it's like we were trying to steal the game. We already clinched playoffs. We won the division. You don't want to really go have your guys play a whole nother quarter, whatever it is. And if we can steal it. We're at their place. Maybe if we were at home, it would have been different. Yeah. But I'm going to be honest, in the moment, I was like, man, let's just kick this thing. Like, let's get up out of here, go to overtime and handle that. But we went for it. Didn't get it. But yeah, it was crazy.
When I think about you, I think about the way that you were built, right? Your mother built you mentally. Your father built.
Kind of interesting, don't you think, that they're still hurt about that game? Yeah. So Amon-Ra St Brown definitely has a beef with Jordan Lewis. So we'll see what happens week number 6 because we will be definitely playing the Detroit Lions and what's going to be a killer first half of the season for the Cowboys. It's going to be hard to get out the box and play well. If we can survive and at least make 500 the first half of the season, you can kind of coast down the second half. But we'll see how the Lions end up responding. The thing that I find funny, though, is here's the thing. Everybody assumes a few things going into the season, okay? Everybody looks, except for the Cowboys, they look and say, if you were a playoff team last year, you're automatically going to be good. Even though the Eagles, dropped like a rock in the season, regardless of the 11 wins, that when you had to go to overtime to beat the Commanders in a shootout, when you should have lost to them in regulation, and both times you gave up over 30 points, there's a problem. And it was like week after week after week that the Eagles, they kept saying, oh, well, this is going to be good for the Eagles because they're squeaking out these wins. But they were wins against teams that weren't good. They were so close that they could have been literally one play different and they could have been losses. And that they literally went off the tracks, crashing and burning. They all assumed because they were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago that they're going to be great. They assume that the Lions, that, they have now arrived and they've made it. That the Green Bay Packers, that they have arrived and they've now made it. That the Bengals, that, they're going to be great again because they were in the Super Bowl a few years ago. The thing is half of these teams, including us, that are in the playoffs are going to fail this year. There's no guarantee. And if you're looking at San Francisco, everybody says, oh, San Francisco, they're a juggernaut. They're a Super Bowl favorite. So were the Eagles. Right? So were the Eagles. And you see what happened. They start dropping. And typically, when you look at it, what happens to teams after they go to the Super Bowl and lose is a steady dive downhill. And that may be where the Bengals are. They peaked up here. They came close on the Super Bowl. They lost. Boom. They started coming back down to earth. Now the injuries with Joe Burrow and things start happening. And it would not be a surprise if they continue that path down. And don't be surprised if you see the Eagles. Sorry, Eagles, you can hate me all you want. But this is what typically happens. You can look at the Carolina Panthers that were 15-1. They go to the Super Bowl. They continue to go downhill to the point where they're in the abyss. You can look at the Atlanta Falcons, same kind of thing. You can look at the Denver Broncos, same thing. That they go through, and the natural thing is people want your coaches, people want your players get old, you're still holding on thinking that you're so close. And the NFL, which is geared for upheaval, that it changes. That it's hard to stay up top when you get up there. And that's why you've got to make the most of it. And this is what's flustering for a Cowboy fan. You have a good team. Why not try and make it a great team? So here we are. Let's see what the talking heads have to say about the latest on Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb's contract situation. Our daily dose of the talking heads.
Potential drama in Big D. It's always potential drama talking about the Cowboys. Training camp starting July 25th. So many questions surrounding the quarterback, Dak Prescott. Can he get Dallas to their first Super Bowl since 1995? Will he get a new contract? What's up with the walking boot he was recently wearing? At his annual youth football camp in Texas today, Dak tried to answer a few of those many lingering questions.
There's been conversations back and forth, but for the most part for me, as y'all know, I've been letting my agent do that, especially as we get right here into training camp. Day one of training camp, my mind flips to just obviously helping my team and just doing everything I can within the organization and on the football field to make sure that I'm my best and everyone around me is their best, and the money and all that would take care of itself, as it always has.
How many passes have you thrown to him in the offseason?
I can't necessarily count them, so a good amount.
A good amount?
Yeah, but CeeDee's going to be ready. A player like that, an athlete like that, he makes my job easier as long as he's trained to trust me. I had a great offseason. Excited to get going here in the next couple of days, going on my trip with my receivers and tight ends, and just getting to get back with them and get some work in, and that'll only expedite my excitement and our process to make sure when we hit camp that we're rolling.
Multiple quarterbacks received new deals this offseason, most notably the extensions of Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, free agent deal for Kirk Cousins. Lawrence's $55 million per year is tied with Joe Burrow for the highest average annual value in NFL history. Dak could blow them away if he has a fantastic season. The three largest deals for wide receivers by average value were all signed this offseason, led by Justin Jefferson at $35 million per. CeeDee Lamb was drafted 5 spots ahead of Jefferson in the first round of the 2020 draft, and he's coming off a career year. NFL insider Jeff Darlington and analyst Herm Edwards with us now. So you got Dak, you got CeeDee, and Micah Parsons also looking for a new deal. Jeff, What are you hearing about who's the priority here for the Cowboys to lock up long term?
Well, I want to be careful here because everybody knows the quarterback is generally the priority. But when it comes to the timing of these contract negotiations, the Cowboys have seemed to make CeeDee Lamb their priority. Maybe just because they feel like that's the deal that they can get done most likely before the start of training camp. But
the one you're going to have to, because he looked like the one that's holding out.
We saw Justin Jefferson get his deal done. That felt like it should have sparked maybe some movement in these negotiations. But still, even with some of the answers to the test, the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb not yet able to get a deal done. Maybe if Jamar Chase gets his deal done, then there'll be even a better way for these two sides to come together and have their price point. Dak Prescott, certainly the guy that we will continue to watch about getting a new deal. But this is a situation where we know that Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott could go into this season in what would feel like lame duck years if they're in the final year of their contract. There is a case to be made, as I've talked to people around the NFL, to say that they're not going to get any kind of discount at this point with Dak right now. So maybe see what he does this year and then
of course,
pay him essentially
always
what you're probably going to have to pay him right now after the season. Certainly one source of conversation that they can be having when it comes to these negotiations.
And the longer we wait, of course, the longer the Cowboys wait, that price just keeps going up and up. So, Herm, if CeeDee Lamb, by far their number one receiver, nobody was close, if he's a priority right now, how do you see this contract situation playing out between Dak and Jerry Jones and the Cowboys?
Well, I think Jerry is looking at this situation and is starting to look eerie to him in the fact that there was another quarterback that sat in Dak's seat. His name was Tony Romo. and it seemed like they could never get over the hump. Dak Prescott, as good as he's played, he's only won 2 playoff games. And that's concerning to Jerry. But if you're Dak Prescott, if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm good. I'm going to bet on myself, and I'm going to play it out. And once I play it out and we get in the playoffs and I win some playoff games and maybe win a Super Bowl, you're really going to have to pay me. Now, his agent's going to tell him you can't do that. But me personally, if I was Dak, I go, okay, I'm going to prove to you who I am. Because he's going to find work. Problem is he's in Dallas. And Dallas is not about winning regular season games. They've got to start winning in the playoffs, and Dak Prescott knows that.
So you think this could potentially be Dak's last season in Dallas?
It could be.
It could be, and it could not be.
Doesn't give him what he wants. Just sit there and play it out.
Honestly,
bet on yourself.
Yeah. There you go.
What's wrong with that?
Bet on yourself. What is wrong? Not a damn thing with that. Problem is the Cowboys keep betting it. It seems like they are always losing. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a carpenter with a day job that's sitting here talking on YouTube. So, I'm not worth $20 billion or whatever the Joneses are worth and things like that. I don't know jack. But what I do know is I appreciate you guys and hope you all have a great Taco Tuesday. And I'll be seeing you with any news that comes up on the Dallas Cowboys. Peace out.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports